Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. We got some exciting news about Minion Masters 2.0 today. So we're going to go through the latest information from BetaDwarf, the Minion Masters developers, and then we're going to look at the Q&A that has kind of sprouted off the back of this information where people have asked questions and they've been clarified. And at the end, we're going to check out a brand new plushie. We've got a lot to go through. Let's dive in. Right. As always, I'll put a link in the description for this post. Add a link to the post on Steam so you can put your own comments, feedback, stuff like that. Okay, so lots of stuff coming. As we may know, as I know, as you may know, Minion Masters 2.0 is coming in December the 12th. That's going to be when everyone on the current platform updates to the new version of the game. So it's just like a regular update. So that's all Steam players, all Xbox players. Everything will move over to the new game. And as they say here, this is going to be a prologue period. So it's kind of like early access. It's like everyone gets their hands on the game and we get to give our feedback. What do we like? What do we not like? What ideas do we have? What could be done better? And then hopefully the devs will be listening, and from everything I've heard from them, they are going to be listening. So make sure you do use the feedback channels available to you and have your say, regardless of what your thoughts are. So they'll listen to that and then hopefully make the game even better going forward. Now, ruby changes. Rubies as rewards will be reduced in general. If you're familiar with the history of Minion Masters, you'll know that it is already a very generous game, but it has been in the past even more generous. Too generous to be sustainable, and they've kind of been clawing that back a bit over time. And this is sort of the next stage in that. So rubies as rewards will be reduced in general. However, season passes, legendary cards will be cheaper. Profile level rewards. So the changes, the rewards are going to be changed and improved. So every time you level up your profile from getting XP from playing, you'll get a reward. Rewards will be claimable even though you reach the level in 1.0. Okay, so that sounds like if you are already deeply invested in the game, or just reasonably invested, you should get a bunch of rewards as soon as you start. Card promotion and glory changes. Rewards for promoting cards have been added. So you can get things like power tokens, stuff like that from promoting cards. The glory system has been revamped. And you will no longer require multiple copies to wildcard. We hate wildcards here in the Fish Tank. Well, I do anyway. But it's a part and parcel of the game. So it looks like the glory has been changed, so a card will have up to 5 glory stars as opposed to up to 400 glory previously, but it's probably the same sort of thing. Right, shop changes. General discounts and more premium items for sale as gold purchases. Gold, of course, is the most easily obtained currency in the game. Season pass system is simplified, battle chest removed. So that battle chest is where you get 3 wins and you get a bunch of XP or something. Free season pass contains an extra legendary card. So as always, there's going to be a free season pass and then the season pass, which will be paid for by rubies. Ranked rewards. Rewards of ranked mode consolidated. Extra rewards for 2 and 3 times contender. I think I'd prefer the extra rewards for beta like triple GM, because triple contender is almost impossible for people to get. And what they mean by the rewards being consolidated is instead of getting rewards from each solo 2v2 randoms, 2v2 pre-made game modes, you'll just have overall rewards for just getting to, if you get to gold in any of them, then you get the gold reward. If you get to platinum in any of them, you get the platinum reward. So that means you don't have to play all game modes to get all of the rewards until you get to right to the end. Right, adventures. Some old adventures deprecated, reimbursement for owners. Daily chests and achievements, more quests and achievements added. I think they're Steam achievements, so that could be fun. Daily quests give season pass XP. Draft mode. A new game role has been added. Rewards improved. We'll talk about the new game role in a minute. Spoiler, I don't like it. Right, new mode. Practice mode replaces challenges as an easy way to test your deck. That's just against a bot. Game modes removed and deck reset. So house event, so that's the tri-team tournament. And Conquest removed. That's the Guild Conquest. Now, that does definitely ask some questions of what's the point of guilds, and we'll talk about it a little more A lot of people didn't like Conquest, especially when you get to a high rank, because you're just forced to play bad decks, awkward cards, against real strong meta decks. Decks will be reset. Please listen. Your decks will be reset. All of your decks will be lost. You cannot do anything to prevent it apart from stuff that you can do. Doesn't really make much sense, but screenshot it, copy it to a notepad, whatever you're doing, just back up your decks in some way. Everyone will gain extra 6 deck slots. Now, a little bit of bad news. The mobile version won't be releasing on January the 16th as initially announced. We're still targeting Q1 for the release, but can't give an exact date yet. This is kind of frustrating, but I think it's important that when they do launch it for mobile, it is in a good state. And I always felt like the length of time between the prologue in December and the mobile release in January was so short that there was very little time for them to receive feedback from the prologue, make the changes to the desktop or console version, and also roll those changes out into the mobile version and test the mobile version. It just felt like that time frame was just far too short. So the mobile version has been delayed, but I think it's important that we think about the mobile version being released in a good state. Getting it early in a bad state, that's not good for anyone. Right, so that was a TLDR that we went through probably in too much detail. I don't want this video to be too long. So just a reminder, the 2.0 prologue is going to be in early access. They're going to be taking into account all of the feedback, so make sure you feedback through Discord, email, and the feedback form in the game. I don't like that they always ignore Steam as like an official feedback form channel, but that's just the way it is. But I always keep an eye on the Steam forum. If there's something important there, I always pass it on to the devs. Right, we'll focus on adding a lot of quality of life, UI improvements and bug fixes. The prologue will end in the spring with a major update introducing a new big feature to the game. It's a doozy. I'm not sure what that is. I couldn't tell you. Right, we spoke earlier about the Ruby rewards going down. So Ruby rewards are going to be reduced or replaced with other rewards. So it looks like you can't get rubies from leveling up, ranking up, achievements, or in the season pass. But they are going to give more free rubies in the shop. And then they go through why they're removing it. And, you know, the game has to be sustainable, right? And it has to be controllable. That's one of the reasons that they removed rubies from the big dwarf packs that streamers like myself give away, because it really just undermines the economy of the game. Right, so to compensate for the removal of a lot of these rubies, rubies appear in the shop more, rubies increased in general from season passes, rewards, sorry, not rubies, but rewards in general increase. So more rewards, but less rubies. And as mentioned, ruby cost of things going down, so like the season pass will only cost $10.50, for example. Right, a lot of profile level rewards, so a lot of cards. Unlocking draft mode there, for example. You can also get 2 masters in the level rewards, so Volko and Milloween. Hopefully that's quite early on, so that'll be good for newer players. And again, it says you'll be eligible to claim these rewards even if you reach that level before the 2.0 launch. So a big bonus for existing players there. Right, card promotion and glory changes. We spoke about that before. So upgrading your cards now yields rewards in addition to granting extra glory. So you can see here some power tokens there, and a silver card frame. Again, you can get these rewards even if you've upgraded your cards previously. You'll no longer need multiple copies of a card for wild carding. And the glory system has been reworked. A card gives 1 glory count towards your season pass progress when winning a match. Through upgrading to a gold tier, a card can contribute to a maximum of 5 glory. Okay, so same kind of thing we had before. Cards give glory, but it's just scaled back. Prices on certain items have been adjusted in the shop. Featured offers generally cheaper. Increase the amount of daily offers to 12 a day. Daily offers now only cost gold. I mean, it's good. A lot of people have a lot of gold, and it's good to have something to spend it on. Unless you've got all the cards, and then you're kind of stuffed. All items previously for sale for rubies will now appear as daily offers. Free rubies will continue to appear as a claim. Season pass. The price of the season pass has been decreased by 200 rubies to $10.50, but you can no longer get rubies from the season pass. Battle chest feature has been removed. Instead, daily quests will yield battle pass XP. That's kind of just simplifying it. I played this game for 10,000 hours. Even I don't understand the battle pass, the battle chest thing. Right, more value has been added to the season pass to compensate for house event and conquest being discontinued, such as an extra legendary card in the free reward. Despite these changes, the time it takes to complete the season pass is not longer. Season pass will continue to have new cards and masters for free. Okay, so these are the ranked rewards. So you see on the left here, you've got your 3 ranks, and then you've got this rank track here. You only have to get to one of them. You only have to get, so for to unlock the Grand Master, you only need to get Grand Master in one of them. So you don't there's no separate rank mode rewards. They're all condensed into one, except for these extra contender rewards. Yep, so consolidated single reward track. Rewards are higher to compensate. Here you can see comparatively of 1.0, Master got you 3 tokens. Here it gets you 10 tokens. Grandmaster 150 shards, legendary cards. So more rewards, remember. Right, but no rubies. Adventures. Adventures will make a return in 2.0. Remember, adventures are the PvE part of the game. You can play it on your own or with a friend against the computer. A lot of people really enjoy the adventure parts of the game. Whether that might be their primarily enjoyment of the game or just like another thing that they enjoy about the game. But unfortunately, because things have been in development for a while, some things have had to take a back burner, and one of those things was adventures. So we haven't had a new adventure for a good while. Now, adventures are coming back. There's no new adventure scheduled for the prologue launch, but they will be coming in the future. Also, some old adventures will be discontinued. So the quest for Jade's, the quest for Mountain Shaper, Saving Jade's Bot Jungle, Nightmares, and Uprising are going to be discontinued. I guess that's because they need to be revamped into the new system, and maybe they'd rather just make new ones for the new system rather than revamp old ones. If you've already got these, then you'll get 10,000 gold for each of them that you've owned, regardless of whether you completed it, or whatever. Daily quests and achievements. Daily quests now grant season pass XP. Daily quest gold reward increased across the board by about 40%. 11 new daily quests have been added, and 38 new achievements have been added. So, for example, you got some quests here about stunning an enemy up to 25 enemies. So that's pretty cool. Right, draft game mode changes. Warning, I don't like this, but I'm prepared to give it a go. Right, draft mode is no longer being restricted by the random card pool. This is good. A list of hidden cards that are prohibited in draft. This list contained cards deemed too hard to use effectively because it required synergy with cards that would be hard to draft. We think this rule made the game mode much less fun. So that was about 60 cards or more that were currently removed because of that. So those cards are going to be put back in. Things that really need a lot of synergy. So things that maybe like need an Empyrean army buff, or things that need spells like Dragon's Nest. They were things that you wouldn't see in draft a lot. Instead, we introduce faction pools. With this system, after you choose a master, they only have access to 4 out of the 9 factions. Each master has access to a unique constellation of factions. We think this system makes drafting your deck much more interesting, as each master will have access to different synergies. This system will allow us to balance draft mode better. We consider the start of making draft mode more unique and interesting. We'd like to add more rule changes in the future to keep the draft meta fresh and exciting. Draft mode now exists on the leaderboard, and draft mode rewards have been improved. But importantly, they say, we consider this an experiment, and as always, we're eager to hear your feedback in the months coming after the release before we decide if this change should be permanent. So, from my point of view, and this is just my opinion, draft is about just anything going on. And while synergies are hard to find, the beauty of draft is trying to find synergies that are not obviously apparent. Trying to make things work together that aren't supposed or designed to work together. Also, one of the beauties of draft mode is that it, in a lot of ways, allows you to get away from the meta on the leaderboards. And I worry that having masters restricted to only 4 factions, you're just going to end up with quite meta-y decks in draft anyway. You're going to go into draft and you find Stormbringer with Crystal Elves, or Stormbringer with Outlander, for example. stuff that you don't really see heavily in draft, because the chances are it's not going to happen. So personally, I don't like this. I think it just dumbs down draft a little bit and makes it a little bit predictable, but we'll give it a go and we'll give our feedback. So hopefully you guys will do that too. Challenges were removed but replaced with practice mode. Practice mode can be played both in solo and team, allows you to play against a bot of the difficulty of your choosing, perfect for testing out new decks. So it's not a casual mode, it's just practice against the bot mode. Right. Conquest has been removed entirely. We mentioned Guild Conquest. A lot of people didn't like it, especially at the higher end of the game. It wasn't necessarily a fun thing to do. It was kind of like a chore. So the relative rewards of the game mode have been played into the season pass. Yeah, so they say here also the Conquest cards feature was confusing and caused players to think they'd be losing cards. Because remember, you get access to Conquest cards even if you don't have them. And then once that Conquest 3-day period is over, those cards change. And so your cards are changing. It's kind of weird for newer players. So I don't hate Conquest being removed, but the question is, what are they going to replace it with? That is something we don't know yet. House Event has been removed entirely. Tri-Team Tourney, same thing. Decks resetting, please. Please, please, please. If you take one thing away from this video, please. Your decks will all reset. So take some kind of action to back them up. If you don't, you'll just load into 2.0 and all of your decks will be blank. So screenshot them, /CD to copy deck, and then paste them into a notepad. Whatever you're going to do, just do something. Please, just listen. Because a lot of people will miss this, even though it's going to be told to them 1,000 times. And people will be annoyed. Right. New usernames. When logging into 2.0 for the first time, you'll be asked to create a new username with a BetaDwarf player tag, but rest assured that no data regarding your profile, other than decks, will be lost. Unfortunately, decks being lost, there was just no way around it. No reasonable way around it, just because the way the game was, the whole architecture of the game was changing. So, that's frustrating. Right, thanks for reading! We're dedicated to making Minion Masters the best it can possibly be for years to come, and we think Minion Masters 2.0 is an exciting step to make sure that happens. Thanks again for all your support over the years, and we hope to see you in game once the new version hits Steam and Xbox this winter. So, as a reminder, December the 12th, put the date in your diary. Prologue will start on Steam and Xbox, December the 12th. That's also when the new Master will be added to the game as well. Nyrvir, the Rune Shaper. And here we see what he looks like. Right, so a lot of stuff coming. Some good, some not so good. But ultimately, I think it's positive. Right, so the next thing I wanted to do, based off the back of this, is just to go through this quick Q&A in the Discord. So from Flammy, the community manager, we grouped all the questions you asked during our latest announcement, and we'll answer them here. So if you've got a question, we might answer them. If we don't, put them in the comments to the video, and we'll see what we can do for you. Right, will we be able to cross-play or transfer data? I played hundreds of hours on Xbox and would love to play on PC, but have no interest in starting over. It is something we want to do eventually, and the way the new version of the game works makes it easier to do in the future. It is not something we can do for launch, though. So, no, but maybe at a later time. Frustrating, but it is what it is. Will decks be deleted? Yes! We're going to repeat this a million times. They will be reset, so make sure to paste them or take a screenshot and store it somewhere. Some old adventures deprecated reimbursements for owners. Does this mean I get rubies back for them? I bought all of them with rubies. You will get 10,000 gold for each adventure that you own, at least one chapter of, no matter how you purchase them. So, will I get rubies back? No. With conquests and prizes gone, what becomes the point of a guild? You can use it to chat and invite players to team play. We agree the usability of guilds is currently light, but we will add to them in the future. We'd rather do this cut features than proceed with features we didn't think were good for the game. So that's talking about removing Conquest. Draft mode now exists on the leaderboard. How will this work? Same as Mayhem, where the order goes by most wins to fewest losses. Highest glory, most recent. What does the BD player tag mean? Color codes are back? Or do I need to worry about naming myself and then having color purple at the end of my name? Color codes will not be back in 2.0. So don't put that ugly looking code in your name because you'll just end up with the ugly looking code in your name. Will there be a buy and spin 50 tokens button? There will not. Only an extra option of 10 tokens for gold has been added. But don't forget, there is a spin all, claim all rewards button where you can spin all of your power tokens. In the beta, I spun 100 power tokens at once. And that was pretty cool compared to how it was before. So there is a spin all button. If you completed the adventures being discontinued, are you still reimbursed? Yes. Can people who lose access to listed adventures get the avatars available to them in compensation? Avatars gained from deprecated adventures will go into the shop and occasionally become available for sale. Don't really like that. If you get something for doing something cool, there shouldn't be another way of getting that that's a lot easier. What about the gold, rubies, and power tokens? This, of course, is another question that a million people have asked. Will they be transferred? Yes, you'll keep your rubies, gold, power tokens, etc. Only your decks will be reset. But, of course, you'll keep your cards. Okay? Everything except your decks. Right. And that is pretty much it, I think. The last thing I wanted to mention is they also mentioned that on the 12th of December when the prologue goes live, the orders for the Nyrvir the Fallen Plushie will go live. So remember, however long ago it was, we got the Mana Puff Plushie. Now, you're going to be able to get a Nyrvir the Fallen Plushie. So orders will go live on the 12th of December. If they're doing it the same as they did before with Makeship, then the orders will be open for a certain period of time. There'll be a target number of orders. It was like 200 before. If that target is hit or exceeded, then the plushie goes into production. If that target isn't hit, but that's not going to happen, is it? Then everyone gets refunded. So I'm really excited to look forward to getting my hands on this cool looking Nyrvir. And I can't wait for it. Right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to go through. Those are the changes. Those are all the things that are coming for 2.0. So, TLDR, 12th of December, Prologue launching Xbox and Steam. Nyrvir the Fallen Plushie, orders opening on the same day. Everything gets transferred across to the new version, except your decks. Please back up your decks. If you don't, you'll lose them. And then a bit of disappointing news about the mobile release, but not particularly shocking. It's going to come, but it's going to be delayed a little bit. But I think that's probably ultimately for the best. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down here on the channel. What are you most excited in? What are you most disappointed about? And a reminder that it is prologue, so please, when you do get your hands on 2.0, give your feedback in any way that you can. Let's help shape this to be as good as it possibly can be. Right, I think that's all I wanted to do. If you're new here in the fish tank, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything Minion Masters related during this exciting Minion Masters time. Of course, like the video if you've enjoyed it. My name is Bad as a Fish, and as always, I'm awkwardly waving.